Welcome to Sidetracked.
A Raspberries Reviews podcast.
Something we have not done in quite a while.
No, we have not.
7 months, according to YouTube.
Yeah, we've been really bad about that.
But, once again, we are at the end of the year.
Yay!
Seems to happen a lot.
Yeah, it happens like I think once a year. But,
Yeah.
as you can tell, I've got a new microphone.
Maybe they can tell. I don't know.
Well, they can tell because for the last couple videos, I've only been able to use the camera's audio.
Oh.
Because my blue speaker, my Snowball, for some reason stopped being able to record on Audacity.
Oh.
It says it was there, and it said it was functioning, but no, nothing, no good. But I got a new microphone for Christmas, and I am loving it so far.
But, like we did last year, we're going to do a bit of a year in review. Talk about some of our favorite things.
Talk about some of our non-favorite things.
Yes. Anyway, so let's start with... Well, I'll let you start with your favorite movies.
Oh.
You saw more than I did.
Yeah, I did. I saw quite a bit this year and reviewed quite a bit this year without. There was quite a few. Obviously, I'm going to save some of the best ones for last. I got to see Rampage this year with Dwayne Johnson. I'm not sure how familiar you are with the Rampage video game.
No.
But it was a video game that I personally loved playing as a kid. Not the original arcade one, because I've played the original arcade one from Up Down. And that one's not as good as for me anyway. But I played, I don't know what year. I think it was 1994 version. Don't quote me on that. But so they took that game and made it into actually a pretty decent, albeit mostly just for entertainment, because the plot of it is still kind of stupid, kind of fun. I mean, it's just really hard to believe in experimentation leads to giant monsters destroying the city. But I absolutely loved it. I loved Dwayne Johnson in it, so that was a highlight. I think, what other ones did we... Well, there was one that you and I saw that we were pretty much underwhelmed by. Solo, A Star Wars Story.
Mm-hmm.
That one was quite disappointing for me.
Yeah.
I never thought
it's really weird because online it's a really mixed bag. There are people that really loved it, and there were people that really hated it. And you know what else was the exact same way?
What?
Episode 8.
Yeah, Episode 8 was...
Last Jedi.
Yeah.
It's a little more vocal on the side of people who hated Last Jedi. But there are... And I will admit it's not the strongest movie, but there's some pretty stupid complaints about that.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm assuming you're talking about Last Jedi, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. There are some pretty stupid complaints, but there are also some pretty legitimate complaints.
And you know, and then I'm on the opposite side of that coin with
Solo.
With Solo, there are people who make some pretty legitimate complaints, and people just write them off as stupid complaints.
That's what you do with any movies nowadays. It just seems like people now that we have or can be more vocal online, they will just complain about anything. Yeah. But I know that they set it up for a sequel, and I'm not gonna go see it. They're making a sequel. Has that been like greenlit and
no,
everything?
Well,
or is it just in development?
I said they set it up for a sequel.
Oh, they set it up. Oh, yeah, for the movies. Okay, never mind.
I mean,
I know what you mean.
I kind of assume that they're at least planning on it.
The plot, the way it ended definitely was setting up for more stuff. But it's like, honestly, I don't know if I want to see it at all. If I do, it's going to be when it's on DVD, and I'll check it out at the library when it eventually gets there. Because, I mean, I don't want to say I hate it. I'm not part of the crowd that hated Solo. I didn't hate it. I just didn't like it. It just wasn't a great Star Wars movie.
I was bored by it. That's my thing.
I was kind of bored by it too, and that was surprising. I love Star Wars so much to the point where I thought no matter how bad they make a Star Wars movie, I will always love it. I mean, I'm one of those people who loves the prequel trilogy, for Pete's sake. And you know...
Oh, you have no idea. So, among the prequel community, I mean, it started out as people ironically liking the prequels, but it's come away from irony sense, and it's now turned into some really weird, genuine love for the prequel trilogy.
But yeah, so there was that disappointment. I'm trying to think some other ones. I will say there's been some pretty good ones this year, honestly. One I'll move on with is I liked Bohemian Rhapsody this year. Was a really highlight for me because, as you know, I'm a big Queen fan. Love their music. We've even sang some of their music during our high school days for show choir stuff. And it was a great movie. Honestly, I can't wait for when it comes out on DVD because I want to add it to my collection of movies. But other movies that I saw in the theater was I went to go see Alpha, and that one was more emotional than I thought it was going to be. It got me crying by the time I left the theater. The other one, let's see, some of the other ones. I saw Incredibles 2. Did you ever get a chance to see that?
Yeah.
I really loved it.
I mean, it was good. It was still it was lacking something that the original had that
I think I've heard other people say something like that too.
I didn't
even though they
really stop and think about it too much, but I don't know. There's something that wasn't there that needed to be there, but I don't know.
Yeah. Another movie. Okay. All right. I'm gonna now shift into because I'm sure there's some movies I'm probably forgetting in there, but I'll just move on to the comic book movies that I saw in theaters this year. Ant-Man and the Wasp, honestly, I feel like was probably on the low end of comic book movies that we saw this year. I mean, it was good, but it wasn't all that great.
Yeah.
In my opinion, anyway. Black Panther and Infinity War and Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse were definitely high up on my list. Mm-hmm. And then recently, I went to go see the Aquaman movie that came out, and I absolutely loved it. So yeah, those 4 comic book movies that came out this year, I absolutely loved them. In fact, Black Panther has gotten nominated for some Oscars, so I'll be interested to see if it'll get that. Though, of course, people had to complain about it because they point out the CGI in Black Panther, which I kind of can agree to a little bit of that with their complaints. It's not the best CGI, but I don't really care.
I don't remember it because I haven't seen it since it was in theaters.
Yeah, but obviously, I mean,
although I will say, yeah, Black Panther was good, but I think if anything deserves some awards, it actually does need to be Infinity War.
Oh yeah, I would totally agree. Infinity War blew it out of the park. Though I will admit, after watching Infinity War several times, there are some things in that movie that are still kind of that bother me. Specifically, the inconsistency with with Gamora. As far because in Guardians of the Galaxy back in 2014, we were told that Gamora was the last of her kind, of the last survivor of her planet. And then in Infinity War, Thanos is talking like, thanks to me, your planet is prospering, and it was all thanks to me by wiping out half the population there. So
yeah, Thanos wiped out half the population. That doesn't mean that's the only thing that happened to them.
Yeah, but he still thinks they're he still says it's prospering. They don't know hunger and all that. But I mean, unless he was dumb enough not to go back to check on it.
Well, I would assume that he never did go back.
And maybe he thought it went
to see the planet. So
yeah. So, I mean, I guess if he doesn't really keep check on the planets.
I'm sure Gamora went back.
Oh, yeah. At least once. But,
yeah.
I mean, I just like to hear some of the people's complaints about it. And, like, some of them I feel like are kind of legitimate. Others I'm like, no. Like, people blaming Peter Quill and blaming, Thor.
It'll all make sense in
Avengers Endgame.
Yeah.
But those were really great. I think the whole 10-year build up for Infinity War was just a good movie. I just love it so much. The visuals, the action sequences in that movie were fantastic. And then most recently, again, I'll talk about Aquaman for a bit. I know you didn't feel like you wanted to go see it, and that's fine because it's not DC is not for everyone, and but I loved Aquaman. I thought it was right up there with Infinity War, if I'm going to be totally honest, in my opinion, anyway. Mostly because of the fact this is the first time Aquaman has ever gotten a live big screen adaptation, his solo debut, other than Justice League, but that was a team up movie. That wasn't a solo outing, and it made me proud as an Aquaman fan because I'm a big Aquaman fan, and that movie I have now, as of this recording, have seen it twice. I'm probably going to see it at least one more time because I saw Infinity War, I believe, 3 times, and I feel like I need to see Aquaman at least the same amount. Because I thought it was that good. What about you? Was there anything that you saw that maybe I haven't seen? Oh, wait, I forgot one movie. The one you and I went to go see together. We saw Blockers.
Yeah. I mean, it was funny. Not the best movie.
No, it wasn't the best movie.
But I mean, it
had John Cena, though. That was the problem.
Sure.
I couldn't see him through the whole thing.
Yeah, well, I mean, it did give John Cena a good opportunity to show off his acting chops, and I think he's a good actor. I think he, should try and get out there a little more. Just, try not to get typecast.
Yeah, don't do that.
Because I'd like to see some other elements of his acting.
Well, he is in that new Bumblebee movie, but I know you're probably going to skip out on that.
Yeah, that's, well...
Though, to be fair, he's played a similar character when he did The Marine back in, what was it, 2005?
Yeah.
The one that everybody doesn't like.
Yeah.
But, yeah. There was... and now all the other movies are coming back. We saw Ready Player One, which I thought was okay. I enjoyed it for the most part. But after reading the book, I think I prefer the book more than the...
Yeah, well, anyone who's read the book has said that they prefer the book.
Yeah. That's most things when movies are adapted from books. They like the book more.
Well, and the main thing I've heard is that they cut out a lot of plot points or change plot points that created plot holes that weren't there in the book.
True. I definitely agree with that. But there were some changes. I understand why they made those changes after reading the book, because there's nothing really... I don't know how... cinematic and entertaining it could be watching a kid play a virtual character in a game of Joust, which I've never played that game before. So
yeah, there were a lot of problems that I had with that movie, and a lot of it stems from the characters and the writing.
Yeah,
I didn't really care about pretty much anyone. There were characters in there that just leave no impact on you. It was this big visual cash grab.
Yeah.
They wanted to stick as many IPs in there as they could, and they did. But whole bunch of references does not a movie make.
No, it does not. But I mean, I still enjoyed it. I know plenty of people who did. I'm glad that they did. I thought it was fine for the most part. It got my enjoyment, but yeah, I would agree maybe with the whole impact thing because I hardly remember any of the characters other than the main character. But so yeah, were there any movies maybe you caught that I didn't?
Nope.
So but yeah, that was. I mean, it's been a pretty good year. I didn't just watch movies that came out in the theater though. There was a lot of movies I watched this year that I bought from like JCD and Hobby that we have here, and I got a lot of kung fu movies that I watched for the very first time this year. Particular ones that stuck out were Chocolate. That was the name of the movie, Chocolate, and I also watched Hero, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. I think that's the name of it. Don't quote me on that. Jackie Chan's Drunken Master was a very entertaining movie to watch. But yeah, I got like a whole bunch of kung fu movies this year. And I still have a bunch more that I still need to watch. And the action in that is always superb to watch. There were some movies actually this year that I revisited that I really enjoyed after watching them again. Specifically, I reminded my love of watching Man of Steel. That movie to me is one of the best Superman movies I've ever seen. I don't get me wrong, I love Christopher Reeve. I love his Superman. I love Superman the movie and Superman 2 even, but there are aspects of those two movies that just bother me quite a little bit or quite a bit. Like, for instance, Christopher Reeve turning back the world, making it rotate backwards in order to make time go backwards to save Lois Lane. That, to me, still bothers me because I think it's just kind of ridiculous and it would never work. But, I mean, it's silly. It's comic books. It was 1978. I know a lot of people who love the fact that Superman was able to do that. But the thing I love about Man of Steel was the whole... I could feel like I could connect to Superman more than I did in those films. And then I revisited Batman v Superman, the Ultimate Edition. And after talking to people on Twitter, I got a new perspective and new love for that movie. I can kind of see now more than I did where some people will claim that it is a masterpiece. While I don't think it's a masterpiece, I definitely have more respect for it than I did when it first came out.
Anyone who calls it a masterpiece has some low standards.
Ouch.
I'm sorry, that I don't care what is in the director's cut. If you call that a masterpiece, you have not seen very many movies that are good.
Ouch.
Yeah.
Ouch. Okay. I mean, it's all it's a matter of opinion, but that's that. But yeah, no, this has been a pretty crazy year, honestly. And what about anime? We've watched some pretty good anime this year, Sam. What about you?
Oh, we as in you and Crystal.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes more sense.
Yeah. Yeah, Crystal and I have seen a lot of good anime this year. How about you?
I mean, I didn't have a whole lot of time to, go through and find some really interesting looking shows. There were some that I had on my list that I never... They were interesting, they looked interesting, I never got around to them. And I heard some pretty bad things about the first few episodes, and I decided just to kind of skip them. But I did have some pretty noteworthy shows, and actually I will throw in my top 5. But before I do, I'm gonna get to some of the shows that didn't make it into my top 5. Koizumi-san Loves Ramen. It's a show about a girl who loves ramen and travels all over Japan trying different ramen bowls. And the quality on the ramen makes your mouth water watching it. And they don't try to make just some cookie cutter looking ramen bowl. I mean, they actually did research into all these different restaurants over Japan, and actually worked to recreate them in the show. And some of their more signature dishes. And the plot wasn't the best, but man, that ramen looked good. Then Maho Shoujo Ore, which is it's kind of the Madoka Magica of Madoka Magica, and the path that went down, getting progressively darker with Magical Girl Raising Sight, Maho Shoujo Sight, which I did watch both of those, but kind of subverting the new trope of really dark magical girl shows, and turning around and having a very lighthearted comedy about magical girls who turn into burly guys when they transform.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
What?
Yes.
Okay.
It's a comedy. It's hilarious. I loved it. Can't give away too much more, but yeah, their love. Well, it's not a triangle, I guess. Rectangle. Square.
Love square. Okay.
Yeah. A lot of situational comedy. And then Asabi Asabase, which is really fun to say. I don't really think this would be something that you would overly enjoy. It's more of kind of surrealist humor.
Okay.
Which is an odd thing in itself, but I didn't realize quite how surrealist this show was going to be going into it, but that is a genre that I have a dear place in my heart for. And again, it was a show that didn't have a whole lot of plot. I mean, it broke the episode up into mini episodes and would have like 3 or 4 per episode. Just have a short plot about these 3 girls. Anyway, moving on. Fooly Cooly Alternative and Fooly Cooly Progressive. This is not a thing that I honestly ever thought that they'd get around to or even consider doing. And you've never seen Fooly Cooly, have you?
No, I have not.
I
have never even heard of it.
That's another fun one. Actually, honestly, it's about the length of a feature-length movie.
Oh, wow.
It's split up into 6 episodes.
Okay.
And Fooly Cooly is kind of a staple in the anime community, and people were not sure how to feel about. Well, actually, it was Adult Swim and Toonami working with the original creators to create not one but two extra seasons to that. Well, we kind of thought were going to maybe link into the original show, and kind of did, kind of didn't. And both seasons were good, but it's just missing. Again, it's missing something that the original had.
Okay.
But they're still fun to watch. And then okay, before I get to my last mention here, I do want to say I'm going to skip over JoJo Part 5 and SAO Alicization because those are ongoing right now. So
Okay.
I'm not going to include those in. But then the last one that did not make it into my top 5, believe it or not, was the third season of My Hero Academia.
Wow. Did not make your top 5.
Yeah.
That's surprising.
I don't know how it compares to the manga, but
Darn, if only Crystal were here, she could tell you.
yeah, this just seems like a little bit of them losing their footing and direction for the series, because they really played up the relationship between Deku and Bakugo this season,
Yeah.
which I really enjoyed. I love the dynamic between those two, and I really love what they did with Bakugo's character in this season.
Yeah.
It's exactly what he needed, because apparently people didn't like Bakugo. I don't rewatch season 2, because he is an incredibly complex character that has so much more than what you might initially think.
I mean, I'm one of those people, I liked him, but I didn't like Bakugo as a character, because maybe not as a character, but his character, the way he behaves, the way he is, it rubs me the wrong way. It's like, why is this guy such a jerk?
Well, and that's why I say rewatch season 2, specifically rewatch the school tournament,
Okay.
because
I like the guy. I like him as a character. He's interesting. I get entertainment out of him, and I like seeing him on screen. But at the same time, I'm he infuriates me to a degree. But I'll go back and I'll watch season 2, and I'll take a closer look. Maybe with some of your guidance, maybe I'll try and see what you're trying to kind of express.
It's mainly the one-on-one battles during the third phase, because especially his battle with Uraraka.
Mm-hmm.
He starts out that battle telling her directly that he's not going to hold back, and he expects her not to hold back, and that's all he asks for in that entire arc, is for people to not hold back against him.
Oh, yeah.
And
I actually did. I respected him for that.
Granted, I completely understand why Todoroki held back against him.
Yeah.
Because he was still dealing with personal issues with his father, but
He didn't want to win that way.
yeah, exactly. And that was the whole point of that arc, was he wanted to win by proving that he was the best.
Mm-hmm.
Which, I mean, that's the whole point of his character throughout, well, up until after his battle in season 3 with Deku.
Yeah, but
other than Todoroki, all the other UA characters, the 1A, Class 1A characters, kind of seem to be pushed aside.
Yeah, I would have definitely agreed with that, especially for season 3.
And especially, they keep trying to, tease and play up the relationship between Deku and Uraraka.
Mm-hmm.
But then they never do anything with it.
Exactly.
Which is kind of annoying at this point.
Yeah,
I would agree, because it's like, I just want to see them
do something with them or stop teasing us about it.
Yeah, really. Enough with the teasing. Let's see it.
If you're not going to do anything with it right now, push it aside. Push her aside. I'm sorry to say.
I mean, I still like her as a character. I want to see that happen. I say if you're not gonna pull the trigger on it, then stop teasing it. Just please.
Yeah. Anyway.
And now you can get to your top 5, which I'm very curious to hear now, considering that My Hero Academia Season 3 is not on there.
Yeah. So, number 5. I'm never 100% sure how to pronounce this, but Kokoku. It's a short 12-episode show. 12, 13. One core episode. Or one core show about this kind of secret society that is, well, they aren't, but thanks to this family that they're observing, are able to stop time for an instant. Okay. And basically, the thing that I loved about this show was that time was frozen from episode 1 to episode 12, except for the characters who were able to move through frozen time.
Jeez.
Yeah. It was kind of this mystery action-y show. Yeah, it's Kokkoku.
It's a mouthful.
For anyone who wants to
try and
go look it up. It's on Crunchyroll, I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly.
Okay.
Number 4, Sword Art Online Alternative, Gun Gale Online. Everyone before this current season with Sword Art Online Alicization, well, not everyone, but the big consensus among the anime community was that Sword Art Online is annoying. Kirito is annoying. And Sword Art Online Abridged has fixed almost every plot hole in the series. I do absolutely love that. But
I gotta watch that again.
There was a spin-off that centered around Gun Gale Online, and takes this idea of putting a first-person shooter into a virtual reality MMO, which I still think is the coolest concept, and I would love to actually be able to try that.
Yeah,
because
totally.
I mean, say what you will about the original Gun Gale Online arc, it was still a really cool concept.
Oh yeah, I would definitely agree. But
it except for a couple callbacks, it completely ignores what happened in the Gun Gale Online arc of the regular SAO story.
Which, by the way, I still like Sword Art Online.
I do too. I
get people's
I don't
complaints.
like the fairy dance arc. It's too long. It's a little convoluted and a little creepy.
Yeah, definitely agree.
Yeah. Okay, so number 3, Zombieland Saga, which is just recently finished. You'd never think, if you were a fan of the zombie genre, that you would have been tricked into watching an idol anime.
Is that the one you showed us?
Yes.
One day? Yeah, I remember that.
And I mean, I cannot spoil the first episode, but I absolutely recommend anyone and everyone go onto Crunchyroll, search for Zombieland Saga. It's spelled exactly like you would think, and just watch the first 2 episodes. Because, especially in the first episode, give it 2.5 minutes, and I mean, it pulls you into the show in that short amount of time. And, it's a complete plot twist right out of the gate. Anyway, number 2, Hinamatsuri, which is... This show made me laugh, made me cry, usually within a couple seconds of each other. It starts out as kind of it's a slice of life with a hint of sci-fi, and they gradually pull that little hint away. Still a little bit in there near the end of the season. It's basically about this guy who is part of the Yakuza, who ends up taking care of this super-powered little girl. I don't know, she's like in middle school, I think. Or I think that he enrolls her in middle school. But it's a slice of life with some really good comedy thrown in there. I need to send you some links to that. Then my number 1 show of the year was Attack on Titan Season 3. And I mean, I had really been enjoying Attack on Titan, especially after Season 2 with their masterful pacing.
In case you can't hear, Crystal is now home, and feel free to join in the conversation at all.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, Season 3 just... I am such a sucker for political dramas. And then you throw Attack on Titan in there. I mean, it's a completely different dynamic from the first 2 seasons. I mean, it was episode, 6 or 7 before we saw our first Titan of the season.
Wow.
Something like that. And, the world building that they bring in for this season really got me interested to find out what else that they're hiding in this world.
Oh my goodness.
Which I have a vague understanding of some of the things that they're hiding.
Okay.
I've been reading the manga
Yeah.
and all that, and it's just, oh my goodness.
I know they get out of the walls eventually, but...
Well, yeah, they do.
I mean, obviously they were going to do that eventually.
Obviously, yeah.
And I mean, on top of that, I've been reading Attack on Titan Before the Fall, which I guess
read a little bit of that.
I guess is not canon anymore, but it's still a good, especially for someone who's doing anime only of the main series. Mm-hmm. It's still, a really good story, and as of right now, still fits. As far as I remember, still fits into the story.
Yeah, I haven't read it in a while, so
yeah.
But I was interested in it initially and read a few chapters. Mm-hmm. So.
Yeah, that's one of the animes that you and Crystal have been trying me to get into, and we'll definitely have to check it out. I think maybe that's something I'll do next year.
Thing is, I want to be around while you're watching that.
Okay, well, we'll definitely make time for that to happen. I mean, I don't know why we wouldn't want to. Yeah. I really enjoyed season 3 of My Hero Academia, going back to that. But I think this year didn't we watch One Punch Man?
Watched
Crystal?
a little bit of it because I don't know how far you want to, but there's one of
finished.
Oh, you're finished. There's one episode which is my favorite, which is in the first season, where we first meet Genos. When he comes into the picture, and I honestly enjoyed that because of the humor in it too.
Yeah, I mean that was a really good one, and I'm so glad when I heard that we're gonna get a season 2.
I'm so excited about that. I've been catching up on the manga with that too, and it looks really good. I'm super excited.
That's spring season.
Spring.
So April is when that'll start.
Man, April's gonna be a big month.
Along with Mob Mob Psycho 100 season 2 is going to be starting in January.
There's gonna be season 2?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, I love Mob.
Yeah, so I'm excited for that. And actually, Toonami's been showing season 1, so I've been rewatching that, but actually the dub this time, which the dub is great.
I've been trying to get Ryan to watch Overlord. I thought he might enjoy that one. I think that's what it is, Overlord.
Yeah.
I enjoy it. I like it. I know it's not for everyone.
I've heard about it. I've never looked into it.
Oh my gosh, it is very good. You guys should check out the first episode. It's really good. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yeah, you've been telling me about it. We need to check that out.
Yeah, there's a lot of humor in it. It's interesting how it's kind of set up. I thought it's kind of a slow start a little bit, but it really is good. Like, it sets the pace. That is one I definitely recommend, is Overlord.
I guess the second season just finished airing.
Yeah. Yeah. I've been watching it online, of course. But yeah, it's really good. I enjoyed it.
Okay, I'm confused. Apparently the third season aired before the second season? Is that right?
I have no idea.
What it's saying on my anime list, but that's weird.
Okay.
A lot of weird things happen.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Overlord is pretty good. It's I haven't read the manga, but it got popular really quick. I can't remember. I think it popped up on my YouTube list, and I watched it a little bit, and it caught my interest. I can't remember where I heard it from. On the website I go to, it shows new anime on it right off the bat, and it looked interesting. Mm-hmm. So, you guys should really watch the first episode.
Duly noted. So is there anything else we'd like to add for the end of the year, or should we start wrapping up? Because we are about...
let's start wrapping up.
Okay. So, I would like to kind of start wrapping up, but I want to say we've actually kind of grown quite a bit this year. We got our highest viewed video to date is my Godzilla trailer reaction from Comic-Con, sitting about 508 views. So I'm particularly very proud of that video. We had a lot of fun doing our Halloween this year. Those sets of videos were really fun for us. So looking forward to 2019, there are a lot of good movies that are on my list, but I think I'm going to take a page out of your book, Sam. As I'm closing out the year, I feel that maybe with certain movies that I know are going to be coming out next year, I'm going to try and avoid as many trailers as possible.
Yeah, I guess I've never even really said this publicly, but this is December 26th, but I have yet to see a trailer for
Captain Marvel.
For Captain Marvel or Avengers Endgame. Yeah. Yeah, I don't even remember what the subtitle is for that movie because I haven't watched any of the trailers, and I don't plan on watching. My plan is to not see any trailers before I see these two movies.
And I'm going to try and take a page out of your book on that, because I think after some of the trailers that we've seen, even though like maybe some people will say that it doesn't give away everything for the movie, it feels like it takes away a little bit for that first viewing experience, in my opinion. That's what I've kind of come to realize at the end of the year. And Crystal also felt that way as well.
I had a major dose of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, and for me, especially after Infinity War and the trailers where, they lied to us.
Yeah.
I'm like, what's the point of seeing the trailers?
Yeah. The point of a trailer is to get the people, like, general audiences or any audience to get interested in seeing the movie in the first place.
Which, I mean, if you're already interested in seeing the movie, then
there's no point, really. So that's kind of
I mean, it's kind of different because, these are movies that I've said that I've wanted to see since they were announced.
Yeah. And that's kind of where I'm at the end of the year. If you still want trailer reactions from me, please go to our Twitter and...
Well, and I'll still do some trailer reactions.
Yeah, we'll still do...
Just depends on the movie.
Yeah, it'll depend on the movie, but I mean, I really want to get the audience input on that because we are sitting right now at 83 followers on Twitter, which I'm pretty proud of. Of course, I'm the one who handles the Twitter for the most part. Actually, no, not for the most part. I do just handle the Twitter account, but we've done pretty well so far. I've gotten across to talking to a lot of people on Twitter, on that community. We've gotten some pretty good viewers who watch some of my other some of the content, mostly the superhero stuff. Watched it all the way through. But yeah, like I've gotten to know some pretty awesome people on Twitter that I've enjoyed talking to, and I really hope I can continue to count on them for future support through future videos. Hopefully some of them will go back and watch some of our other videos, like our Halloween videos that are still out. But I think for as far as next year, I kind of want to try and get more content out, and we'll try our best to do that. But this is mostly, I would say, and Sam, you can correct me if you want. It's mostly a hobby for us. We don't get stuff out consistently enough. But you know, it's something we enjoy doing, and seeing all the feedback that we do get it makes it worth it. There are some videos I feel like I wish more people would watch, but you know, as a active YouTube watcher myself, we got to make sure to improve the content, or there are a lot of good videos out there to watch that drive away the attention. So. But I want to thank those I know you know who you are. Thank you for your continued support, and I hope I can count on your support throughout the 2019. Anything else you want to add, Sam, as we close out?
I don't think so.
All right. Well, Crystal, you?
I'm good.
You're good? All right. Well, we thank you. So now, if you like this format because we're on YouTube with this podcasting. If you liked the podcast episode, click like on it. If you like our content, please subscribe so you can keep aware of when new videos are coming out. Click that bell if it will bother to notify you when new videos are out. Follow us on Twitter at RMB Reviews. You can like us on Facebook. Feel free to chat with me because I handle the Twitter. Feel free to chat with me about any movies. It doesn't just have to be superhero movies. It can be any movie you like, such as The Terminator, Star Wars, any movie that you'd like to discuss. Please feel free to contact us however you would like, but mostly Twitter or Facebook. And with that, thank you for joining us for Sidetracked, and we will see you next time.
Have a Happy New Year.
Happy New Year!
Happy New